Michael. Come on in. You don't have to ring the doorbell. You're welcome anytime.
Expecting somebody else?
Well, actually, Diane was meeting with the DA. Talking about a possible plea arrangement.
I hope it works.
Yeah, me too. Waiting around to see if you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison is not, I don't recommend it.
Yeah, well, if everyone had to pay for their crimes, there'd be a lot more people in prison.
What is wrong with you? How can you even say that man's name?
I can say it because he's standing right there. That. Look at him. That's Faison.
Oh my God, this is insane.
Yeah, it is insane. You know, it also happens to be the truth.
I don't even know how to respond to this.
Do yourself a favor and don't bother. Stop making this woman's life a misery and just tell her who you really are.
I assume we're talking about Sonny. This is what we do.
Details aren't important, but you're right about him using force to get what he wants. I was this close to turning him in.
I'm sorry.
Come on, you don't care if he goes to prison.
Michael, what I care about is your happiness. So for what it's worth, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I hope you and Sonny work it out.
Thanks.
Hi. I hope I'm not interrupting anything. The now rich and still formidable Alice let me in.
All right, so let's hear it. Am I heading to prison?
Faison is dead. He's been dead for years, Robert.
That's what we all thought about this guy. But think about this. There were 2 explosions. We all survived one of them.
Yeah, barely. It took me years to recover.
Faison survived the Port Charles explosion, then spent the rest of the time assuming Lavery's identity.
You can't be serious about this.
I've never been more serious in my life. Look, I didn't plan on bringing this to you yet until I had proof without a doubt. That's why I'm here.
Illegally.
Getting evidence.
You bring all this to me. You invoke a man who nearly destroyed our lives. He took us away from Robin when she needed us. And you don't have anything to back it up?
I have plenty to back it up. And I can prove that this man is Faison.
The DA for a long time.
Thank you. Well, it was quite the list of charges we had to trudge through.
And?
It helps that most of your key witnesses are now deceased. For instance, your father, whom you almost killed.
Yeah, I know, I was there.
Your brother,
We don't know if Jason's gone yet.
is presumably dead.
So, were you able to get the attempted murder charges dropped?
It's a work in progress. But nothing I am not able to handle. The kidnapping charges, however, that's quite the different story.
Hey, look, I'm the one he kidnapped. What if I don't testify?
Wait a second, Michael, you'd be willing to do that for me?
If I don't testify, they don't have a case, do they?
Except you weren't the only victim. AJ conspired with Faith Roscoe to also take Morgan and Christina. And I will bet every shoe in my closet that Sonny and Alexis and Carly have neither forgiven nor forgotten.
Yeah, the DA doesn't want to go to trial. See, they have to put me on the stand. I'm the only one old enough to testify about the kidnapping because Morgan and Christina were too young. So can we use that as leverage for some kind of a deal?
Our best option is to give the DA something that they really want in exchange.
My freedom. For what?
For someone who's a bigger criminal than you could ever hope to be.
You're not going to entertain this lunacy.
You getting nervous?
Oh, what is the proof that you've got, Robert?
I've got an eyewitness account. One, Olivia Falconeri.
Oh, that's the woman who couldn't stop staring at me the other night.
She saw you at the Haunted Star, sporting Faison's face.
That's absurd.
She was injected with LSD. She's been hallucinating.
Well, then talk to one of your own detectives.
Yeah, well, Dante is her son.
Yeah, and he'll back me up. Her visions are absolutely reliable, including this one.
She doesn't even know what Faison looks like.
True. And she was unsettled by the whole thing, so she sat down and had to talk to Lulu.
Who shockingly mentioned it to you. What a blatant setup this is.
I had Olivia talk to Elizabeth Weber, describe this face perfectly, and she sketched it.
She's not a professional sketch artist.
Close enough. This is the face that Olivia described. Now tell me you don't recognize that person.
Pretty much spend the rest of my life in prison or turn rat. Well, what do I have to do? I have to either provide evidence or offer information or testimony or something to the DA about someone who's a better get than I am.
AJ's been in hiding for years. Who would even know anymore?
May I speak freely in present company?
I have no secrets in front of my son.
When your father was among the living, he was, how shall I put this tactfully?
A shady, irresponsible criminal.
Yes, what he said, exactly. But by no means the worst, which is good for us. Because if we hope to escape a life sentence, we're going to need some heavy leverage.
Someone worse than AJ.
Way worse. Someone whose crimes are so heinous, they make your father's pale in comparison.
This is who Olivia saw. This man with Faison's face.
Well, Elizabeth knew him, so maybe she just did it subconsciously.
No, I was there. Elizabeth followed Olivia's instructions to the letter. There was no prompting.
Are you sure there was no prompting? After all, Faison's always been your obsession.
Anna was Faison's obsession. Your obsession.
Just get on with it, Robert.
When Olivia saw Faison, he was smoking one of those signature cigarillos of his. Well, when I saw Duke the other night, this is what he left behind. You should quit. I mean, this really will kill you.
I thought you said you smoked cigarettes.
So?
It's not a cigarette.
Oh my God, Anna. You're not actually believing this, are you? You think I am Faison?
I've got someone.
Really?
Yeah. This guy's, he makes me look like a saint.
Well, that remains to be seen. And of course, I will need details and corroborating evidence.
Who is he?
His name's Faison.
Start at the beginning.
When I left Port Charles, I was in real bad shape. I had a broken back and a bunch of other injuries. My mom put me in a clinic in Switzerland. I stayed there for almost a year.
I'm sorry, my fault. Speed it up.
Okay. When I got better, I would start to walk around, you know, on the hallway floor. And so one day I'm walking around and I get lost. I wind up in this restricted area. But I see my doctor, so I figure, okay, I'm gonna go over and just ask her directions. But she's talking to this guy. And I don't know, there was something about his voice. It resonated with me, like I recognized it. And so I decided to kind of hold back and see who he was. And when I did, it was Faison. And I couldn't believe it.
You are absolutely positive.
Yeah, he was wearing the same scrubs that they gave us all to wear, but he's a really distinct-looking guy. Trust me, it was him.
Did he see you?
No.
And we are the only two people that you have told this to.
Yeah, I was gonna go to the police, but it would have meant that I would have had to turn myself in. Okay, what do you want to hear? I was selfish. I know how dangerous the guy is.
So if this Faison guy is as wanted as you say he is, he could be your ticket to freedom.
Faison is dead and gone, Anna.
Well, his body was never found.
Yeah, but then how do we make the jump to he stole my face?
Duke's face.
No, I'm not making any jumps. I'm just stating a fact.
Well, then allow me to play. The fact is, he's coming between you and I again. The same thing that he's always done. Take a look at me. Do I look like Faison?
You've still got access to all those contacts, all those good plastic surgeons.
So? I mean, if what you say is true, to what end?
To get Anna. She hated you, but she loved Lavery, so you arranged to take his place. And it wasn't a bad plan. You almost got away with it up until now. Tell him, Anna. As
lovely as it might be to hand the authorities Faison's head on a silver platter, we're going to need the documentation to back it up. How many years ago was this?
Okay, it was a while ago, but he was still a patient when I left.
Yes, but it's unlikely that he'd be there now.
There's something else, too. He had a relationship with my doctor.
A romantic relationship?
No, it wasn't like that. It was like more like a business relationship. And he wasn't very nice to her.
I don't think Faison was nice to anyone.
If AJ turns Faison in, would it be enough to get his charges dropped?
Provided that the authorities believe AJ's story, which, considering that it's you, is going to be rather a hard sell. Unless Do you have proof that you saw Faison alive?
As a matter of fact, I do.
What is next? I'll get stalking. I'll get paranoia. We got breaking and entering. We got all these baseless theories that you keep...
Not baseless.
Okay, so you got proof. What proof do you have? You found a cigarillo on the pier. You got the word of some drug-addled woman. Lock me up. What's the matter? You don't have a badge anymore?
You know, you're right. This could be a good time to bring the agency. Or perhaps you'd prefer Interpol.
Don't embarrass yourself, Robert.
Do
Please
you
just put
agree
it
that
away.
this is madness?
Anna, please, you've got to trust me on this one.
I miss Robin too. I know. I understand the desperate search to find something, anything to hold on to. But resurrecting a man that we both despise is not going to bring our daughter back.
I'm not resurrecting him. He's standing right here.
Stop it. Do you know how that sounds? Do you know?
Anna, you've been compromised. He's messing with your mind. Please. Please support me on this.
I can't do this. I can't. I'm sorry, Robert. This is Commissioner Devane. I want to report B&E.
I think you just...
Anna, you got to trust me here. Your safety, it depends on it.
I'm sorry, Robert. Just take him away, can you?
The guy you're trusting. The guy you're trusting is Faison.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I think so.
Thank you.
My mother gave me this untraceable cell so that we could communicate. It's one of the few things I managed not to lose.
You managed to secretly snap a photo of Faison.
Yeah. Well after when he was supposed to have died. Now please tell me that's going to be enough for the DA.
You have exposed an international criminal. You have proven that he is alive and still at large. You offer the authorities the ability to apprehend Faison, and those kidnapping charges are going to disappear faster than you can say Fashion Week.
It couldn't have been easy for you.
Yeah, it had to happen.
Well, you know, grief is such a terrible thing. I think Robert may need a psychiatrist more than he needs a lawyer.
I think you prefer to spend 20 years in a Turkish prison.
Thank you.
You already said that.
It's worth repeating. I mean, it means so much to me that you believe in me.